The Majapahit Empire was a vast archipelagic empire based on the island of Java from 1293 to around 1500. Majapahit reached its peak of glory during the era of Hayam Wuruk, whose reign from 1350 to 1389 was marked by conquest which extended through Southeast Asia. His achievement is also credited to his prime minister, Gajah Mada.According to the Nagarakretagama written in 1365, Majapahit was an empire of 98 tributaries, stretching from Sumatra to New Guinea, consisting of present-day Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, southern Thailand, Sulu Archipelago, Philippines, and East Timor. Although the true nature of Majapahit's sphere of influence is still the subject of studies among historians, Majapahit was one of the last major empires of the region and is considered to be one of the greatest and most powerful empires in the history of Indonesia and Southeast Asia, one that is sometimes seen as the precedent for Indonesia's modern boundaries. Its influence extended beyond the modern territory of Indonesia and has been the subject of many studies. Etymology. The name Majapahit derives from a local Javanese, meaning bitter maya. German Orientalist Berthold Laufer suggested that maya came from the Javanese name of Eagle marmelos, an Indonesian tree. The name originally referred to the area in and around Trowulan, the cradle of Majapahit, which was linked to the establishment of a village in Tarik Timberland by Raden Wijaya. It was said that the workers clearing the Tarik Timberland encountered some bale trees and consumed its bitter-tasting fruit that subsequently became the village's name. In ancient Java it is common to refer the kingdom with its capital's name. Majapahit is also known by other names, Wilwatikta, although sometimes the natives refer to the kingdom as Boom Jawa or Mandala Jawa instead. Historiography. Little physical evidence of Majapahit remains, and some details of the history are rather abstract. Nevertheless, local Javanese people did not forget Majapahit completely, as Majapahit is mentioned vaguely in Babar Tanah Jawi, a Javanese chronicle composed in the 18th century. Majapahit did produce physical evidence. The main ruins dating from the Majapahit period are clustered in the Trowulan area, which was the royal capital of the kingdom. The Trowulan archaeological site was discovered in the 19th century by Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, Lieutenant Governor of British Java of British East India Company from 1811 to 1816. He reported the existence of ruins of temples, scattered about the country for many miles, and referred to Trowulan as this pride of Java. By the early 20th century, Dutch colonial historians began to study Old Javanese and Balinese literature to explore the past of the colony. Two primary sources were available to them. The Para-written manuscript was written in the Kawi language c. 1600, and Nagarakretagama was composed in Old Javanese in 1365. Para-written focuses on Gunarok, the founder of Singhasari, but includes a number of short narrative fragments about the formation of Majapahit. The Nagarakretagama is an Old Javanese epic poem written during the Majapahit Golden Age under the reign of Hayam Wuruk, after which some events are covered narratively. The Dutch acquired the manuscript in 1894 during the military expedition against the Kakranagara royal house of Lombok. There are also some inscriptions in Old Javanese and Chinese. The Javanese sources incorporate some poetic mythological elements, and scholars such as C. Berg, an Indonesia-born Dutch naturalist, have considered the entire historical record record to be not a record of the past, but a supernatural means by which the future can be determined. Most scholars do not accept this view, as the historical record corresponds with Chinese materials that could not have had similar intention. The list of rulers and details of the state structure show no sign of being invented. The Chinese historical sources on Majapahit mainly owed to Zhang-He's account. A Ming dynasty admiral reports during his visit to Majapahit. Zhang-He's translator Ma Wan wrote a detailed description of Majapahit and where the king of Java lived. The report was composed and collected in Ying Yai Shanglan, which provides a valuable insight on the culture, customs, also various social and economic aspects of Chawa during Majapahit period. The Trewulan archaeological area has become the center for the study of Majapahit history. The aerial and satellite imagery has revealed extensive network of canals crisscrossing the Majapahit capital. Recent archaeological findings from April 2011 indicate the Majapahit capital was much larger than previously believed after some artifacts were uncovered. History. Formation. After defeating the Malayu kingdom in Sumatra in 1290, Singhasari became the most powerful kingdom in the region. Kublai Khan, the great Khan of the Mongol Empire and the emperor of the Mongol Yuan dynasty, challenged Singhasari by sending emissaries demanding tribute. Kartapranata, the last ruler of Singhasari, refused to pay the tribute, insulted the Mongol envoy, and challenged the Khan instead. In response, Kublai Khan sent a massive expedition of 1,000 ships to Java in 1293. By that time, Jayakatwang, the Adipati of Kediri, a vassal state of Singhasari, had usurped and killed Kartapranata. After being pardoned by Jayakatwang with the aid of Madura's regent, Aryawara Raja, Raden Wijaya, Kartapranata's son-in-law, was given the land of Tarik Timberland. He then opened the vast timberland and built a new village there. The village was named Majapahit, which was taken from the name of a fruit that had a bitter taste. When the Mongolian Yuan army sent by Kublai Khan arrived, Wijaya allied himself with the army to fight against Jayakatwang. Once Jayakatwang was destroyed, Raden Wijaya forced his allies to withdraw from Java by launching a surprise attack. Yuan's army had to withdraw in confusion as they were in hostile territory. It was also the last chance to catch the monsoon winds home, otherwise they would have had to wait for another 6 months. In 1293, Raden Wijaya founded a stronghold with the capital Majapahit. The exact date used as the birth of the Majapahit kingdom is the day of his coronation, the 15th of Kartika month in the year 1215 using the Javanese Kaka calendar, which equates to the 10th of November 1293. During his coronation he was given the formal name Kertaraja Jayawardhana. King Kertaraja took all 4 daughters of Kartapranata as his wives, his first wife and prime queen consort Tributaries, and her sisters Prajnaparamita, Narendrajuhita, and Gayatri Rajapatni the youngest. He also took a Sumatran Malay Dharmasraya princess named Darapetik as his wife. The new kingdom faced challenges. Some of Kertaraja's most trusted men, including Rangalore, Sora and Nambi, rebelled against him, though unsuccessfully. It was suspected that the Matapati Halyada set the conspiracy to overthrow all of the king's opponents, to gain the highest position in the government. However, following the death of the last rebel Kuti, Halyada was captured and jailed for his tricks and then sentenced to death. Wijaya himself died in 1309. According to tradition, Wijaya's son and successor, Jayanagara, was notorious for immorality. One of his sinful acts was taking his own stepsisters as wives. He was entitled Kala Gemit, or weak villain. Approximately during Jayanagara's reign, the Italian Friar Odoric of Pordenone visited the Majapahit court in Java. In 1328, Jayanagara was murdered by his doctor, Tanka. His stepmother, Gayatri Rajapatni, was supposed to replace him, but Rajapatni had retired from the court to become a bhikkhuni. Rajapatni appointed her daughter, Tribhuwana Wijayatunggadewai, or known in her formal name as Tribhuwanatungadewi Jayawishnuwadani, as the Queen of Majapahit under Rajapatni's auspices. Tribhuwana appointed Gajah Mada as the Prime Minister in 1336. During his inauguration, Gajah Mada declared his Sumpah-Palapa, revealing his plan to expand Majapahit realm and building an empire. Golden Age. During Tribhuwana's rule, the Majapahit kingdom grew much larger and became famous in the area. Under the initiative of her able and ambitious Prime Minister, Gajah Mada, Majapahit sent its armada to conquer the neighboring island of Bali. According to the Babadayu Tibanan manuscript, in 1342 Majapahit forces led by Gajah Mada, assisted by his general Ayudama, the regent of Palembang, landed in Bali. After 7 months of battles, Majapahit forces defeated the Balinese king and captured the Balinese capital of Bejalalu in 1343. After the conquest of Bali, Majapahit distributed the governing authority of Bali among Ayudama's younger brothers, Ayu Kenseng, Ayu Kutawandira, Ayu Sentong, and Ayu Balog. Ayu Kenseng led his brothers to govern Bali under Majapahit suzerainty, and he would become the progenitor of the Balinese kings of the Tabanan and Badung royal houses. Through this campaign, Majapahit planted a vassal dynasty that would rule the Bali kingdom in the following centuries. Tribhuwana ruled Majapahit until the death of her mother in 1350. She abdicated the throne in favor of her son, Hayam Wuruk. Hayam Wuruk, also known as Rajazanagara, ruled Majapahit in 1350–89. During this period, Majapahit attained its peak with the help of Prime Minister Gajah Mada. Under Gajah Mada's command, Majapahit conquered more territories and became the regional power. According to the Nagarakretagama, Canto 13 and 14 mention several states in Sumatra, Malay Peninsula, Borneo, Sulawesi, Nusa Tenggara Islands, Maluku's New Guinea, and some parts of Philippines Islands as under Majapahit realm of power. This expansion marked the greatest extent of Majapahit, making it one of the most influential empires in the Indonesian history. It is considered as a commercial trading empire in the civilization of Asia. Along with launching naval and military expeditions, the expansion of the Majapahit Empire also involved diplomacy and alliance. Hayam Wuruk decided, probably for political reasons, to take Princess Sitra Rashmi of neighboring Sunda Kingdom as his consort. The Sundanese took this proposal as an alliance agreement. In 1357 the Sunda king and his royal family came to Majapahit to accompany and marry his daughter to Hayam Wuruk. However, Gajah Mada saw this event as an opportunity to demand Sunda's submission to Majapahit overlordship. The skirmish between the Sunda royal family and the Majapahit troops on Bubut Square was inevitable. Despite courageous resistance, the royal family were overwhelmed and decimated. Almost the whole of the Sundanese royal party were killed. Tradition mentioned that the heartbroken princess committed suicide to defend the honor of her country. The Battle of Bubut, or the Pasunda Bubut tragedy, became the main theme of Kidung Sunda, also mentioned in Karita Parahiangan and Pararatin. However, it was never mentioned in Nagarakretagama. The Nagarakretagama, written in 1365, depicts a sophisticated court with refined taste in art and literature and a complex system of religious rituals. The poet describes Majapahit as the center center of a huge mandala extending from New Guinea and Maluku to Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula. Local traditions in many parts of Indonesia retain accounts of 14th-century Majapahit's power in more or less legendary form. The direct administration of Majapahit did not extend beyond East Java and Bali, but challenges to Majapahit's claim to overlordship in outer islands drew forceful responses. In 1377, a few years after the death of Gajah Mada, Majapahit sent a punitive naval attack against a rebellion in Palembang, contributing to the end of the Srivijayan kingdom. Gajah Mada's other renowned general was Aditya Warman, known for his conquest in Minangkabau. In the 14th century a Malay kingdom of Singapura was established, and it promptly attracted a Majapahit navy that regarded it as Tumashik, a rebellious colony. Singapura was finally sacked by Majapahit in 1398. The last king, Sri Iskandar Shah, fled to the west coast of the Malay Peninsula to establish the Malacca Sultanate in 1400. The nature of the Majapahit Empire and its extent is subject to debate. It may have had limited or entirely notional influence over some of the tributary states, including Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, Kalimantan, and eastern Indonesia, over which authority was claimed in the Nagarakretagama. Geographical and economic constraints suggest that rather than a regular centralized authority, the outer states were most likely to have been connected mainly by trade connections, which were probably a royal monopoly. It also claimed relationships with Kampa, Cambodia, Siam, southern Burma, and Vietnam, and even sent missions to China. Although the Majapahit rulers extended the power over other islands and destroyed neighboring kingdoms, the focus seems to have been on controlling and gaining a larger share of the commercial trade that passed through the archipelago. About the time Majapahit was founded, Muslim traders and proselytizers began entering the area. Decline following Hayam Wuruk's death in 1389, Majapahit power entered a period of decline with conflict over succession. Hayam Wuruk was succeeded by the Crown Princess Kusumawardhani, who married a relative, Prince Wikramawardhana. Hayam Wuruk also had a son from his previous marriage, Crown Prince Waraboom, who also claimed the throne. A civil war, called Paragreg, is thought to have occurred from 1405 to 1406. Wikramawardhana was victorious and Waraboom was caught and decapitated. The civil war weakened Majapahit's grip on its outer vassals and colonies. During the reign of Wikramawardhana, a series of Ming Armada naval expeditions led by Zheng He, a Muslim Chinese admiral, arrived in Java several times spanning the period from 1405 to 1433. By 1430, the expeditions had established Muslim Chinese and Arab communities in northern ports of Java such as Semarang, Demak, Tuban, and Ampel. Thus Islam began to gain a foothold on the northern coast of Java. Wikramawardhana ruled until 1426 and was succeeded by his daughter Suhita, who ruled from 1426 to 1447. She was the second child of Wikramawardhana by a concubine who was the daughter of Waraboom. In 1447, Suhita died and was succeeded by Kertawijaya, her brother. He ruled until 1451. After Kertawijaya died, Bhre Pamotan became a king with formal name Rajazawardhana and ruled at Kahuripan. He died in 1453. A 3-year kingless period was possibly the result of a succession crisis. Girisawardhana, son of Kertawijaya, came to power in 1456. He died in 1466 and was succeeded by Singawikrama. In 1468, Prince Kartapranata rebelled against Singawikrama, promoting himself king of Majapahit. Singawikrama moved the kingdom's capital further inland to Daha, effectively splitting Majapahit. Under Bhre Kartabumi in Trowulan and Singawikrama in Daha, Singawikrama continued his rule until he was succeeded by his son Ranawijaya in 1474. In the western part of the crumbling empire, Majapahit found itself unable to control the rising power of the Sultanate of Malacca that in the mid-15th century began to gain effective control of Malacca Strait and expand its influence to Sumatra. Several other former Majapahit vassals and colonies began to release themselves from Majapahit domination and suzerainty. But Kartabumi managed to reverse this event. Under his rule he allied Majapahit with Muslim merchants, giving them trading rights on the north coast of Java, with Demak as its center, and in return he asked for the loyalty to Majapahit. This policy boosted the Majapahit treasury and power but weakened Hindu Buddhism as its main religion because Islam spread faster. Hindu-Buddhist followers' grievances later paved the way for Ranawijaya to defeat Kartabumi. Dates for the end of the Majapahit Empire range from 1478 to 1517. Actually, that was the year when a Ranawijaya army under General Udra breached Trowulan defences and killed Kartabumi in his palace. Demak sent reinforcements under Sunan Nudung, who later died in battle and was replaced by Sunan Kudus. But they came too late to save Kartabumi, although they managed to repel the Ranawijaya army. This event is mentioned in Trailokyapuri and Petak inscription, where Ranawijaya claimed that he already defeated Kartabumi and reunited Majapahit as one kingdom. Ranawijaya ruled from 1474 to 1498 with the formal name Girindawardhana, with Udra as his vice-regent. This event led to the war between the Sultanate of Demak and Daha, since Demak rulers were descendants of Kartabumi. In 1498, there was a turning point when Girindawardhana was deposed by his vice-regent Udra. After this coup, the war between Demak and Daha receded, with some sources saying Radenpata left Majapahit alone as his father had done before, while others said Udra agreed to become a vassal of Demak, even marrying Radenpata's youngest daughter. But this delicate balance ended when Udra asked Portugal for help in Malacca and forced Demak to attack Malacca and Daha under Adipati Yunus to end this cooperation. A large number of courtiers, artisans, priests, and members of the royalty moved east to the island of Bali. The refugees probably fled to avoid Demak retribution for the support for Ranawijaya against Kartabumi. With the fall of Daha, crushed by Demak in 1517, the Muslim emerging forces finally defeated the remnants of the Majapahit kingdom in the early 16th century. Demak came under the leadership of Radenpata, who was acknowledged as the legitimate successor of Majapahit. According to Babatana Jawi and Demak tradition, the source of Pata's legitimacy was because the first Sultan, Radenpata, was the son of Majapahit King Brawijaya V with a Chinese concubine. Another argument supports Demak as the successor of Majapahit. The rising Demak Sultanate was easily accepted as the nominal regional ruler, as Demak was the former Majapahit vassal and located near the former Majapahit realm in eastern Java. Demak established itself as the regional power and the first Islamic Sultanate in Java. After the fall of Majapahit, the Hindu kingdoms in Java only remained in Blambangan on the eastern edge and Pajajaran in the western part. Gradually Hindu communities began to retreat to the mountain ranges in East Java and also to the neighboring island of Bali. A small enclave of Hindu communities still remain in the Tengger mountain range.